Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Icewind Dale. It is a great role-playing game. It is just like Baldur's Gate. It is just like the series with Grace. Right here, as you see, they give you pre-generated characters because in Icewind Dale you do not meet any companions. Those are former characters I may have made, or some of them that they put on there just randomly generated. So I recommend for a group you have a fighter, a priest, a thief, a mage, and then you can choose the other two wisely. Some people like doing another fighter, so that way you have another strong hand-to-hand combatter. Some people like a druid because it's different spells than a mage and a priest. And some people just like to experiment and do monks and druids. But as you see here, we are currently making a warrior who I am focused on their strength, dexterity, and constitution. Because for a warrior, you need the dexterity, constitution, and strength due to the fact that they usually hold the heaviest stuff. Good constitution means great armor class, means you're harder to hit. Constitution's health. Dexterity is harder to hit. So that's what I'm focusing on with her, because she's going to be our main tank, which means she's going to take most of the blows. Now, as you guys are wondering, I did name her Jonah, which I know some people think is a guy's name, but it's also a girl's name. So I was just trying to think of a name we could just kind of throw right there in the middle. Here we make a female, and this female... I believe we may make a male here. In this episode, this is just introducing the gang. We are going to call them Hell's Gang. You might have seen that I had videos in the past called Hell's Gang, just with different characters. And with the it's because of the fact that I didn't have a recording software that I could commentate over before. That's why in all my Baldur's Gates, I don't commentate, it's more of a gameplay, and I know those are very boring to a lot of people. I do apologize. However, after the Shadows of Alm that we are finishing now, we go to Baldur's Gate Throne of Ball. On Throne of Ball, I am definitely 100% going to commentate over every episode, so that way you guys know what I'm doing. Especially because Grace will no longer be in existence, because something will happen to her at the end of Baldur's Gate 2 Shadows of Alm. As you see, we are creating a priest. With a priest, your main focus wants to be wisdom, and then you might want to do constitution, dexterity, and strength. Dexterity, again, armor class. Constitution, again, is your health. Then intellect is mainly for mages to memorize scrolls, and for clerics, it's for them to use scrolls as well as wisdom. And charisma is basically how cheap you can get things for. If you have a bard, you usually want to have high charisma because they can talk and get things a lot cheaper. Now, as you see, I picked Bless in mild healing, which you always want to have that healing to the beginning of the game because that can make or break you sometimes. So I always make sure I have healing in there. And in today's episode, you will see that I am focused on what I usually do, which is like 2 warriors, and then I usually have the thief, the mage, the cleric, all that. And I will tell you guys that usually you want to have some people long range. Usually I try to do 3 long range, 3 hand to hand. But I think this group I might have 2 hand to hand and 4 long range. This is our cleric. His name is Mavdar. Mavdar goes way back, way back. It was an old folk priest name back in the Roman Empire. Back when the Romans were around, they did believe in priests, and that is why we decided to name him that, because in their eyes that was a very powerful cleric or priest, which is what we're trying to go for. Right here, I always like having her as one of my pictures for a character, which she is going to be the last character we make. But I decided to switch it and go with something different. So this one I chose to use her because I wanted to do an elf or a half elf. And she is going to be a ranger, which rangers are usually better to have with bows, but they can use swords as well. Once you're done creating them, however, you do get to pick which creature that they target better, which creature they're gonna hit better. So for her, even though you won't meet these till later, I did select Umberhawks, because Umberhawks are very hard to beat because they can control your characters. As soon as they shoot stuff at you, your character can go berserk and start attacking you. So I want somebody that's just able to bang, 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 knock them down real quick. And I'm going through all these like little sub-class kits because each of them do differently. Like Beastmaster, you can't have any metal weapons, can't wear any armor heavier than studded leather, but they give you also advantages. So for her, I just did a straight ranger, and she's neutral good. And with rangers, you mainly want to aim towards constitution, so your health. And then I would say with rangers, make sure you do constitution, then dexterity. Don't really worry about strength as much. I mean, strength does help because you can carry a lot more, but I say dexterity and constitution is a lot better. And usually with the ranger, you want to have them be on like longbows, short bows, slings. But I usually make my ranger good with at least one hand-to-hand weapon, just in case for whatever reason their bow isn't good enough to injure a creature. You can switch them to hand-to-hand to come fight that other creature. Right here is what I'm showing you. This is their racial enemy. It's a +4 to the attack of that enemy. So I chose Umberhawks because, again, they can control you, and they can turn your like strongest warrior straight against you, who can just slice and dice you through your party. So I like to have somebody that's really good at just taking him down. And we name her Alexa. All of these characters do have a background. Like Jonah, she was an orc that she wanted to become a warrior, but they want her to be a priest, so she got kicked out of her city. And she met Navarre and Alexa, and they formed together. Alexa was a high ranger hunter that disobeyed her kingdom, so she got kicked out. Right here, we're making a mage, and he is neutral evil, because again, this is called Hell's Gang, so I'm trying to make him as evil as I can. Yeah, I do apologize about, like, if I'm not good at this commentary. It's like my first time really commentating over games like this. So I dropped his charisma down because with a mage, you really want intelligence, because the better intelligence, the more likely you are to convert scrolls, into your spellbook to use, and that really helps, because especially with fireball and lightning later on, those really help, especially against trolls. Here you get to pick your first 2 spells you start, but you only officially start with 1 until you level up. I always choose Identify and try to do Magic Missiles, because Magic Missiles do a lot of damage. Identify is just good to have for if you find a weapon that you don't know what it is, like a dagger or something, and you just need them to identify it, boom, because you can sell this for a lot of money. So that's why I did that. But again, I'll probably be using Magic Missile more, because that does a lot of damage. You can usually take out creatures in one hit, or at least go from full health to near death. So that is why I chose to have that. And his name, ladies and gentlemen, is Kilgore. Kilgore doesn't really have a backstory. More or less, that was the name me and my brother used when we used to like wrestle outside and stuff. I was Kelgash, he was Kilgore. But I mean, it does have a background at the same time, because Kilgore was a mage that disobeyed his circle, so he got kicked out of his circle, and he was in a bar one time, got in a bar fight, and that's when Alexa and all of them decided to recruit him and ask if he wanted to join their party because they could use someone like him. Right here, we are making a fighter thief. Usually I make a full-on thief because they're a lot better with their abilities, but I want to make a fighter thief just to be a little different. And with the thief, you want to focus on dexterity, which is their hand-eye coordination and helps with armor class. So that's why I'm making her dexterity a good, and her constitution can go up to 19. The max is normally 18, but 19 because of the fact she's a dwarf. Dwarfs get higher constitution. If you have it at 19, then they do get healed. They get healed after they get damaged. They can slowly heal themselves up rather than you having to like heal them and rest. And with thieves, you get to pick whether you want to like have pickpocket, hide in shadows, make traps, open locks, find traps. always do open locks and find traps first, because open locks come in handy because you can find magical stuff very early in the game or +1 items. Opening locks is good for that reason. Finding traps is good because in a lot of dungeons there's tons of traps that can kill your characters very quickly. And so, since she is a fighter thief, she cannot use, or she can use heavier than leather armor, studded leather, but if she uses heavier than studded leather, she cannot do her thieving abilities. So that's why I made her more long range. Her name is Zendalia. Zendalia has a background story of being kicked out of her little hometown village because she had stolen from her father, which in her village is disrespectful. So she had been kicked out for that. And because she was kicked out for doing that, she decided to join this little group that was looking for a thief to help them on their quest. And so they met each other and they had a little test for her and she passed. Right here, like I said, usually you have like 1 or 2 extra characters. Right here, I am going to make another fighter, but this fighter is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a berserker. Berserkers can have this thing called Go Berserk, which gives them like +2 stats to everything, but they cannot use ranged weapons. So she cannot use bows or slings or anything like that. She has to be hand to hand. So usually with the berserkers, you definitely want high constitution, just because of the fact you can't at any point put them long range. You can't use bows, can't use slings. So that is why she is going to be strictly on hand-to-hand weapons. So she is going to be our other tank. So she's going to be the other one that runs into battle for us. As you see, her dexterity was 19. That is because she is a gnome, which gnomes get extra +1 dexterity and get lower strength, though. That's the issue. So she won't be able to carry as heavy stuff, but her armor class, you're going to put on split mail and she'll probably already be a -1 or maybe even a -2. So that is mainly, that's how the categories go. Now, in Baldur's Gate, I know this is Icewind Dale, but in Baldur's Gate, I do apologize for not being able to commentate over that. That's why it's very boring. But like I said, in Throne of Ball, which is the second thing to Baldur's Gate 2, I will be commentating over that. And that was Levea. I named her after my niece. Now, if you guys would like to listen to the story.
One of the so-called 10 towns of Icewind Dale. The tiny community is hardly a town, but rather a collection of ramshackle huts crowded together upon the icy shores of Lech Dineshire. Here, within a dimly lit tavern, a group of travelers sit huddled around a table, swapping tales and making grand plans for the future, completely unaware of the part they are to play in the events that are about to unfold.
Alright guys, I hope you all enjoyed just this little dialogue before I end the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please throw it a thumbs up, subscribe, share with your friends, and let me know what you guys thought, and if you want to see an episode 2, I appreciate it. I'm out, Rye Dog is out, Frame Train out.
These folk are under my protection.
I will be bringing more episodes of different things, so I hope you all enjoyed, and let's see where Hell's Gang goes.
Sure, you've had a long journey, and if you're in need of lodging, I would recommend talking to Quimby. Equipment and supplies can be purchased next door at Pomab's Emporium. Pomab's. Once you've had a chance to rest up and get your bearings, come by and see me at my house. It's just a couple doors west of here. There's some business I would discuss with you. Farewell.